everyone. We're looking forward to an awesome 2024 season, second year in the Big 12. Newcomers, as we all know, coming into the conference. So it's kind of like a new experience all over again. Last year was a new experience, but then this year is going to be a new experience too. But everyone's excited. Preseason's going really well, and yeah.
This offseason, I've really been seeing a lot of you this offseason, honestly, because it's the anniversary of that 1999 Team USA team. You were recently received the Women in Sports Leadership Award, or at least named the recipient of that award. So what has it been like this offseason, getting to kind of reunite with some of those 99 opponents and kind of, I guess, reap the fruits of that labor a little bit?
It's been a fun summer, yeah, to mention what you said, having a reunion with our 99ers, our World Cup team, and seeing some of your best friends that you haven't seen in a while, and for us to all be together for the first time, probably in 25 years, for all 20 of us to be together. I was telling our players that it's such a special time to be back with your teammates, and it's the same dynamic. Like, you're back with the funny people are still the funny people. The people are the pain in the butt, or my pain in the butt teammates still. But it is a very special group, and we had time and opportunity to hang out with our current Olympic team, who's doing amazing, obviously. And so it was a special time for the reunion, and also celebrating our Olympic team together.
Coach, since we're on the subject, what do you think about Saturday's game?
I'm so excited about Saturday's game. As everyone's been watching, they're a very dynamic team, and I think the unity is really strong right now. And kind of like UCF, we have a great balance, veterans and youngsters, and a great coach that's leading them. And so I'm feeling really strong that we're gonna win the gold.
Locally, a heavy following on the game. There's 7 Pride players on the roster. So what does that say about just the overall Orlando and the soccer and this game in particular?
I've always said that Orlando is a soccer city, and we love that, we host the best players in the world with the Orlando Pride, and hopefully some of our, players at UCF will move on to the Pride, or playing with some of the best players in the world. So it just says a lot about our city and the support and the resources that we have to play on beautiful fields and beautiful weather. And so it is an exciting time for the Pride with all their Brazilians, and so of course I'll support our Brazilians, but being a former U.S. player and being American, I'm hoping that the U.S. team wins gold.
What did you learn about the Big 12 last year, going through it, and you think you wanted your players that learned from that experience going into this year now in year 2?
We learned a lot. I mean, I think just even logistically, if you start with something like that seems a little blah, but it is. It's new places that you've never been, new places to find, places to eat, and new fields, and you don't know what to expect. So I thought our team handled it really well going into new environments. I think, going to new environments where we're playing in exceptional stadiums, like soccer-specific stadiums, it's eye-opening for us to be able to see what women's soccer has and what Big 12 has. I would say competitively it was a lot stronger than the American, and we knew to expect that, and I thought we were ready for that, and we handled it really well. So going into, were you asking, the second question was about?
Yeah, going into Big 12 now into year 2, and the growth, for the players learning from that.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of growth, but as I mentioned earlier, I think there's still a lot of unknowns, just because we have some teams that are brand new again that we haven't played, and I haven't even coached against in my career here, and this is my 12th season. So there's still a lot of newness, but I don't think it's really about that. Like, for us, we focus on ourselves, and we focus on our standards and our standards of excellence, and the way that we train every day so that we're prepared. Obviously, the coaches have to do our jobs of scouting our opponents, and we'll do our best to prepare the team. But I think we have laser focus on ourselves. We've got a great team this fall that everyone's very excited about. Our players are I hear them chatting on the side, and I know they're very excited about each other and what this team is capable of. So right now it's laser focus on us, and whatever opponent we're up against, we're going to do the best that we can.
You had several key players move on to the professional world after last season, from Caroline DeLisle, Katie Bradley, Dayana Martin. So what is it about this team that feels special to you? What sort of energy do they bring that's unique to them?
Well, I mentioned that our team, there's a lot of newness to our team. It's a new dynamic. The past few years, we've had a lot of veterans coming back, and they know what to expect as far as training goes and what preseason, what that flow looks like. We have, I think, 14 new players. So we had 7 come in January, and now we have 7 coming in August. So that is a balance between freshmen and transfers. So half of our team really is new, and we're all learning that together right now, just the way that we flow and our partnership. So the exciting part of it is the way that we're training. We had an exhibition match where we had success against pros. I know that they're looking at each other and at themselves saying, whoa, like, we are a very exciting team. We have a lot of speed up top. I know you guys think we lost speed, but I think we may have even gotten faster up top. And then we have some returning midfielders, and then we have some transfers that have come in the back that are going to add a lot to our lineup. So it's just well balanced and a very exciting, I would say, attacking group that you're going to see some new faces that I think people are going to be excited to watch.
Speaking of that newness, what did you guys learn about your team in the match against Fort Lauderdale?
We learned a lot about our team against Fort Lauderdale. I mean, like I said, they're pros, right? And if you look at the roster, they were all exceptional college players from very good college programs. So I actually didn't know what to expect going into the exhibition match. We hadn't even played an inter-squad 11v11. We had a few set training sessions. We didn't even work on building out of the back. We did that today. So, there are a lot of things that we didn't even work on yet. So I was just kind of holding my breath, saying, okay, here we go, throw them out there and see what happens. We played everybody. We managed minutes and load. And like I said, we learned. So your question was, what'd you learn? I learned that we're capable of getting off of a bus and winning a game. And so we're very gritty. And we have a lot of depth. I learned that too, and there's going to be a lot of competition within the team because I don't think there's a starting, I don't think we just have a starting 11. And I think that's what, in the past when we've had success, we've always had a starting 15, 16. You can rotate players in and out, and that's going to help our season and the durability of everybody if we can manage minutes and share starting roles. That's what I learned from the exhibition match. Now, can't get all high off of one game, and it was only one game, and we have a different motivation than Fort Lauderdale United, so we have to take that into consideration too. But I know that we're gritty, and I know that we were ready and came out to play and played a lot of players, and they've made my job really hard, which is a good thing because there's a lot of competition within.
When you mentioned the competition, goalkeeping, certainly, you've been so rock solid with Caroline. It's been there forever. And then Vera before that. Hey, tell me through that process on trying to identify that goalkeeper, because that's been a big part of your success, is have that rock solid goalkeeper, which has got great tradition here at UCF.
We do have great tradition with our goalkeepers, being All-Americans, and a majority of them going on to be professional, goalkeepers. Domestically and internationally, we've got a great goalkeeping group right now. Genesis is, I don't know if the roster has been named yet, but most likely she'll be on the under-20 World Cup team. So we won't have Genesis in the beginning. Now she's a redshirt freshman. She grew a lot this spring. She will be a contender for the starting lineup. We have a brand new freshman with Sammy Lipcon, and she's obviously has a lot to grow, but she played in the game against Fort Lauderdale United, and she's one of the reasons why we did win, because she made some big-time saves to keep us in the game, and that's a freshman who's really green. So to see that type of a performance from a freshman, she reminds me of a young Caroline Delisle, actually. And then obviously we have Liza Pasorio, who was our number 2 last year, and we were ready to put her in at any moment. And she's a transfer and has a ton of experience just being in our environment, and she's been coaching young Sammy up. Like I said, Genesis isn't with us and hasn't been with us because she's off with Costa Rica's U20 national team right now. So it's gonna be again, competition within even the goalkeeping family, but we've got you'll see we've got 3 really, really talented goalkeepers on our squad.
You talk about the new faces on this team with how many new players. Can you name a few that maybe UCF fans will maybe get to know rather quickly this season?
Starting from the front, I'd like to mention Eddie Jong Etim. We call her Eddie. She's a young freshman from Nigeria, and she's played in an under-17 World Cup, so she has youth national team experience. She's come into, as you all can imagine, coming from Africa and stepping foot in the United States for the first time ever about a month ago. She's actually transitioned really well. She's actually really caught my eye, and I've been, as a coach, when you bring someone in, we've never had an African player, at least under me being the head coach. We haven't had an African player, so I was expecting there to be more. She needs time and transition. She's a freshman coming from Africa. She's actually transitioned fantastically, and you guys are gonna love what you see with her. And starting from the front, like I said, another new player that we have who's doing really well right now is super fit. I've always told her when she got here, her name it's Emily Thompson. She's from West Virginia. She didn't get a ton of playing time at West Virginia, but I've liked watching her develop since January, and her fitness has improved dramatically. She has this swagger, street ball-y kind of style of soccer, which we don't have. It's a unique way of playing soccer and a unique style that she has. Wouldn't you guys agree? That also makes this lineup in the front very exciting. So those are 2 new players. And obviously you've got Chloe in there, who's exciting as well. She's not new anymore, but I would say a couple other new players. We've got a little Japanese player that is adding to our possession. You guys know we're possession oriented. We like to keep the ball, so she's very tidy on the ball and can help be creative in the midfield. And then we've got 2 new players that could potentially play in the back for us. We've got, not potentially, Taylor Jacobson. She's a transfer from South Carolina. She's been training with us since January on the left as a left fullback. And then Kayla Chapman Haggerty is on the right. Has been training on the right, and she is from Ole Miss. So we've got 2 transfers right now in the back, and then I haven't even mentioned really. Well, Eddie's a freshman, but we have other freshmen that I'm like, whoa. Like last year, a lot of our freshmen actually had to redshirt. I don't know if that's going to be the case this year because they're making an impact so fast. So we'll see. It's just a lot of competition. It's like, I know the team, I'm sure, is feeling competition, but I'm sure they all want to win too. So whatever it takes to win.
Is this one of your best freshman classes? I mean, it sounds like it's one of the deepest there, perhaps, and perhaps some of the Big 12 making an impact on that?
Yeah, last year I said, I think this is one of our best freshman class, just even as far as like athletically and fitness wise. Like they came in all crushed, like the fitness test, and then in the end, like they actually didn't really play that much because we had a lot of veteran players on our team, but it didn't mean that they weren't good enough. We just had a lot of experience already. So this year I think the freshmen have a little bit more opportunity just because we're not as veteran heavy. We're not a full senior class starting that they're trying to get in. So if I have to evaluate it, yeah, I think every year the freshman class gets better and better, and I think getting to being part of the Big 12 has a lot to do with our recruiting and it being able to bring in like a higher even caliber player every year or more of them, right? We've always had high caliber players, but even more of them, I'd say.
Coach, what are your thoughts on the conference schedule this year? If I'm reading it correctly, you avoid BYU and Texas Tech until the tournament. So what?
A lot of the times I'm like game by game, it's like I know we play Miami tomorrow and then I'm really not focusing too much after that. I do remember that we're not playing BYU and Texas Tech, but like I said from the beginning, like I don't really care who we play. Like to be the best, you got to get through everybody, and if we're not going to play them out of conference or in conference during the regular season, I'm going to expect that we're going to be playing them in the championship of the Big 12. So I'm assuming we're going to be playing all the best teams in our conference at some point this year, and whether that means conference or in post season, then we'll do that. But such a great conference and really exciting, and I can tell that they've seen the level of competition has heightened, and they deserve that. and that's what they've been yearning for. So we're in the right place, and it's exciting to be part of the Big 12.
What about as far as putting together?
Last question.
What about as far as putting together this non-conference slate? You're gonna be the first of a couple of UCF teams that are gonna be facing Florida this season. You got Georgia, who's ranked number 14, coming here, and then you start with FAU and then FAU on the road and return to Utah Valley. So what was it like putting together this non-conference slate, and what does this team need to do for you between now and then?
I mean, I think, putting together a non-conference, we try to put the best non-conference schedule as possible. And, we have Utah Valley coming back to us. So we played them at their place a few years ago. So they're returning to us. James just told me they beat BYU in their preseason match. So I think that says a lot. Even though it's just an exhibition, I think, we're going to take something from that. So Utah Valley will be a really, really good opponent. Also, I know those that are returning that played them before. We didn't have our best match against them a few years ago in their place. So I think there's probably a little revenge piece there. I think we tied. But, Georgia's going to be a big time game for us. We did not come out with a result against Georgia last year. So again, I think this is a revenge match, and now we get to play them at home. They're ranked, top 25. So I think that will be a game changer for us. And then it's fun playing, our Florida teams, right? So we're going to go to the Gators. I believe we're at South Florida. So 2 rivalries, in-state rivalries that I know that the players are going to get up for and be excited to play and beat.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, you guys. Excited for the season with y'all.